Good morning, as we always say. So nice to have you watching us on 3+U this morning. I'm kind of excited because I've known that our first guests were coming for a few weeks now, and I had heard about them through another guest on the show months ago, and yet now is my first chance to talk to them in person. And I'm thrilled, and I think you will be too, because if you've been kind of walking through carrying some stress, the holiday season certainly brings that about. Maybe you've got some aches and pains, but you're not quite sure what to do with it. They're going to give you a different kind of overview of what they can do to alleviate that pain and that stress. So I'm talking with REV Optimal Living, Erica Rogers and Matt Smith, both of them licensed chiropractors, but so much more too. So good to see you both.
Great to see you.
I don't really know how to set you up, so I hope that was okay.
Perfect.
But the thing, so you kind of talk to people and there's a buzz, right? So there's been this buzz about you. Matt, you and your wife opened REV 7 years ago
now, yep.
Erica, you joined 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So for the outside world to listen in, you're licensed chiropractors, not anything particularly standoutish about that.
Yeah.
But you've taken your life experiences and you've brought it into your practice to really heal the whole for people.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Very fair to say. I love it.
Okay.
Could have said it better myself.
Well, I could say it because you set me up, Matt.
Yeah.
You and your wife kind of had your own journey, and you sort of utilized these techniques and discovered what worked, and now here you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our story, the short story of it, we're licensed chiropractors, went to chiropractic school thinking we were going to do traditional chiropractic, which, by the way, I love traditional chiropractic. But for me, I was on a humanitarian trip with my wife, and we saw this guy doing a very different style of chiropractic, very gentle contacts, working with the energy in the body. First time I saw it, I thought the guy was an insane person, to be quite honest. I thought he was a nut job. I'm like, he isn't doing anything. And then, long story short, I had a very profound experience, and that started a healing journey for both my wife and I. And today, fast forward, 10+ years since that experience, our whole understanding of the body is that the nervous system, the energetics within our body controls and coordinates every cell within our body. And when that's functioning the way it's supposed to, we tend to feel our best, very simply put. But the only problem is that we have our perception system as our nervous system, how we see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and that gut feeling. So if we have too many stressors, whether it's big stuff or lots of small stuff, it starts to disrupt that brain-body communication, causes incoherence within the system, and that leads to the aches and the pains, the low energy, and the other symptomatologies and disease process that so many people experience today.
Okay, so Erica, this is my Cliff Notes understanding of what Matt was saying. That the practice is really rather ancient.
Yeah,
and
that's a good way to put it.
You look at life over millennia. We've gotten ourselves as a society increasingly with these outside stressors that play in, and it's almost like our bodies just can't keep up with the progression.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I would say that is 100%, and it's not until somebody starts experiencing like, hey, I have some neck pain or I'm having some tension in my shoulders, like that's whenever we start looking at the root of this. How long has that been going on? What was going on around that time? And that's when we realized that our body accumulates a lot of these experiences. It's not just the physical, I bent over and I twisted my back last Tuesday. It's been the accumulation of my life has been a little bit stressful the last couple of weeks, and it's kind of built up to a point that I need to slow down.
Right.
Yeah, and that's usually,
Okay, so I'll play guinea pig.
Perfect.
I have not been to see you.
Yeah.
But anybody who watches know that I'm far from a person of secrets. So I'm 52 years old. Even if my life had been just skipping through the roses for 52 years, those 52 years kind of build up just some basic stressors, right?
Yeah.
So I might not know I have aches and pains. I might not have aches and pains, but the stress could still be there.
Absolutely. I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry. I was going to say, we see so many people where that is absolutely the case. It's not that something necessarily has to be going on. I personally get adjusted. I don't have a lot like that, but you would come in and I'd be like, hey, how's life been up until this point? Like, what has been going on? And I think whenever people start talking about integrating and, processing and all these things, they're like, well, I don't know if I've processed. I don't know if my life experiences from the past have been integrated. So we always encourage people, it's like, whenever you look back at previous life experiences, do you have a sense of peace, a sense of gratitude, a sense of moving on? If you do, that is a really good indicator that your nervous system has processed or is in the process of processing.
So some people are more highly tuned with themselves than others, right?
Yeah.
So what if you're a person who says, I don't know. If I came to you and I was the I don't know person, I tend to gloss over. but would my body possibly tell a different story?
I had a consult literally very recently that, and most people that come into our practice don't come in because they're feeling great and fantastic and awesome,
Sure.
right? Most people come in because they have stuff going on, and it's easier to make that appointment to come in when that's happening. So someone that would come in that might not necessarily have a lot of stuff going on, whether it's physical, mental or emotional, or even biochemical, what I always share with people is that, when we take people through a process, we do an initial consult, we chat, we learn about your history, we share about how your nervous system, really doesn't know the difference between 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago. So if you've had stresses or challenges or curveballs in your past, today what might be happening is you might be more reactionary to stressors that are happening. You might become less adaptable to those stressors. And if that resonates with people, we always invite people to go through about a 3 to 4 week process of really just seeing how this style of care, getting adjusted through integration, can really support them. From that, and again, I think we were talking before this, we never make any guarantees that anyone's going to experience anything, but we have a very, very high success rate for the people that go through that process of seeing positive changes, not only in their physical self, but how they adapt to stressors and challenges that are happening in their life.
Yeah, because I think the last 2 years have really taught a lot of us how controlling we may or may not be.
Absolutely.
And you don't have a guarantee. All you can do is control your own self as much as you possibly can. I know we just we're going to get into an overview with y'all this morning, and I wish that we had a lot more time, because the truth is it's a far ripple effect. So if you do come in with an ache or pain, that gets remedied relatively quickly. But then what results from that, Erica, is that people then have maybe some mental clarity or some new dreams and wishes that they are more in tune.
We talk about bandwidth a lot, and it's like, I think people have this plate that we walk around with all day, and they're like, I'm having so much happening right now. And I'm like, well, I don't think the thing is that we want less experiences. It's like this plate, we just need to start integrating some of these experiences. And we carry around this plate all day long, we keep piling these things up, and then it's like we sit down at night and all of a sudden we're totally distracted, or we have some aches and pains in our shoulder, and it's like, let's become a little bit more adaptable to these things.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit more resilient.
I mean, I know that here we are talking on the literal eve of the holiday season.
Yeah.
So you're not expecting people to be able to totally clear their schedules, but first of all, if you've got time, what an easier way to get through the season. But we're also on the cusp of New Year's resolutions. And this can really make 2023 a much better year for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just people having the understanding that they have an ability to change their internal state. We have so many external things that are happening around us that, even if you can't come into our office, maybe you don't live here in Chattanooga, taking 5 minutes every day to close your eyes, take a long, deep breath, activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and just feel into this amazing body, this intelligence that tells your heart to pump blood, tells your immune system to do its job, allows you to walk, talk, breathe. You have so much energy and electricity inside of you. And I think the biggest message we share with people, and how crazy that does sound, right? It's like, just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I'll feel better. It does sound kind of simple, but that's really how simple sometimes healing can be. Obviously, there's a lot more steps along the way, but just doing that, especially during this holiday time, would be a huge support for everyone.
Well, maybe the step you want to take is giving them a call this morning. So here's their phone number. It's REV Optimal Living, 713-7390. If you go online to their website, revoptimalliving.com, a lot of this is spelled out. You can get a deeper understanding before you give them a call. Their office is on Fraser Avenue. Thank you both.
Thank you so much, Julie. Appreciate you.